Hey folks, been a while, been busy. I'm sure a lot of you know how that is. But somebody gave me this Midland walkie-talkie contraption. It came in a black box, and you have your battery, you have your antenna, and you have your radio itself. It came with a sort of a crappy magnetic mount thing too, as well. The RCA jack. You just sort of plug in the top there, and it's a telescopic antenna. You just throw it on the roof. Thin piece of coax, real chintzy. This is meant to be, I guess, an emergency radio. You just throw it in the boot, and you get into trouble. You pull it out, and you call for help. Before cell phones. Well, at least before they got cheap. Let's see. So it's a 75-777A. Midland, Kansas City, Missouri, made in Korea, which would be South Korea. And one of the most interesting things about this is, at first I didn't want it. No, I don't want that. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do with it or really care about it. And then I said, no, you know what? I'll tear it apart and have a little bit of fun with it. So I figured that that's what I would do with it. So I get it, and pull it all out of the box. I pull the three pieces out. I feel this battery pack. I said, oh, there's batteries in it. My first thought is oh boy, these batteries are exploded, corroded. Yeah. So I pop it open and I see this. And I'm like, oh, so the batteries are just new. And then I looked at the batteries, because they're sort of spun around, and I look at the dates on the batteries, and I see, I don't know how well that's showing up, if at all. January 2002, that's the best if installed by date. And I said, oh, these batteries, I'm surprised they haven't exploded, but they're deader than, they're just dead. And I don't know what in the world possessed me to do this. I said, you've got to be kidding me. So, it works, and with batteries that are like 15 years old. Mind you, that, best if sold by date that's on these things. That's just amazing to me. That date, these batteries would have probably been bought in like 98 or 99 or something like that. So these batteries are, for all intents and purposes, going on 20 years old. Just astonishing. So I was like, wow. Anyway, so I've got batteries that are, older than Montezuma's Revenge that still work, and a radio that, for all intents and purposes, obviously works. Doesn't appear to be anything wrong with it. Channel 9, let's see about the Super Bowl. Sort of grab the antenna and quiet it, but no, I don't hear anybody on the Super Bowl. Nobody on like 19. The range on this is going to be, crap. This, look what we have for an antenna. This is, you're not going to get much with that. However, maybe you get a mile, if that. So, anyway, I figured I'd pull apart and see what's in it. So, right off the bat, I know the obvious 3 screws. And take a peek, see what we got. It's probably going to be some 74 series logic or some custom chip or something to do the channel selection. This is up and down buttons for the channel selector. This is going to be some kind of custom thing, probably. I doubt it's discrete, so it's just going to be a custom thing. See if I can't. Doesn't want to come apart. Doesn't feel any screws under that plate. Although that plate feels like a piece of aluminium, so yeah, there's no manufacturer date stamped in it either, so I have no idea when it was made. It doesn't really feel like it wants to come apart. It feels like something's holding it somewhere. And of course, the plastic on the front there, you can see a little spots in where it's sort of bubbling a little bit. This thing has never been really used, so I don't know if we got poppers or... I could see caps and stuff in through a crack here on the bottom. Just... Oh. Okay. It took a little bit of pulling. Okay, I see what happened. These pin headers that are in here, they were just sort of, you know, they've been together for so long, they just didn't want to come apart. So then we got these leads here, which is probably that speaker right there that doesn't want to come out. So let's get the lock. There we go. So here we have it. We've got some paper, cardboard, insulation stuff here. That's going to be the output. Driver final. Probably get a couple of watts out of this at the most. 2SC 2075 and a 2SC 2314. Power stuff over here. We got a probably a filter. This transformer over here near the speaker jack and near the audio amplifier. That's certainly its audio transformer. KIA 7217. Sort of bog standard stuff for a CB. The push to talk button and whatnot just sort of slides in there. I guess there's no magnet. It's just whatever's on the button there. So this isn't very interesting. Obviously, we've got its VCO here. Not very interesting. So everything's going to be happening up here. So this is going to be the business end of it. You know, that's where the display and everything else is. So have a peek under this here board and see what we got going on. And okay, speaker and one custom chip. Woohoo! So we got probably a microcontroller and a PLL integrated there. It's a SM5125A. No idea what it is. Couple tact switches, couple of buttons here. One of these turns on and off the display, which I thought was rather curious because when I was playing around with this button here, which is just labeled LED on and off, it turns on and off the LED display, but it doesn't turn on and off the S meter. So I was just sort of like, well, if you're going to turn off all the LEDs, why wouldn't you turn off the S meter too? That one just sort of struck me as a little strange in why that didn't do that. So it doesn't turn off the S meter. So these 4 LEDs will still work, even though the 7 segment is actually shut off. And of course, a channel 9 dedicated channel 9 button. So yeah, we got some Kelna capacitors. The hell is a Kelna capacitor? Okay, Kelna capacitors. I've heard of them, but Elna, unless I'm just thinking, I don't know. I just know it's some old ass capacitor. I can tell you that. But yeah, Kelna. I've heard of Elna though. I'm rather sort of confused there now as to what's going on with that. We don't have we have a 7805 right here, presumably for the micro and PLL, and probably to, you know, drive this. Which we've got our transistors here. We've got a KA2285. This KA2285 more than likely is driving these LEDs. Yes, they are. That's probably like a like you would some kind of, I've heard of these ICs. It's got the Samsung, original Samsung logo. Now, for those who don't know what the Samsung logo used to be, it used to be a couple of 3 stars. So that's really dating this, because I haven't seen that Samsung logo in a long time. Let's see if we can Google that real quick so that I can show what the old-timey Samsung logo used to look like. Probably look this up yourself. It was three stars. and just looking through the Google pictures, here we go. That one right there. That one right there. It says here 1980 to 1992. So that dates this. I knew that was going to date this thing because I haven't seen that 3-star logo in a really long time. Decades. So this is probably early 90s, maybe late 80s, early 90s. And I kind of figured that. There's no real date codes on anything here. This I see, KA 2285 249, so I don't know what that is. If it said 2490, I could see that. But other than that, I really don't have any idea when this was made, unless I'd have to obviously Google this, and I haven't Googled it, so I really just don't know. That I just don't see any date codes on any other semiconductors in here, and there really aren't very many semiconductors in here. Well, at least integrated circuits, rather. Audio amplifier. We've got this PLL and micro. We've got this like VU meter kind of thing. LED driver. And that's basically it. No other. This one, SM5125A 91ZC. 91's probably about right. I will have to say, very extreme late 80s, extremely early 90s, somewhere in that window is probably when this was made. We got a number on the board, but that doesn't really reveal a date either. So, I know, not very interesting. It's one of these things where, you look at it and you're like, okay, a CB walkie-talkie thing. I'll probably put it on the shelf as sort of a novelty item without the batteries because these batteries are still going, and I have to because it's a curiosity thing now. The radio turns on, but the radio will probably operate on like 8 or 9 volts. So, what's one of these batteries actually measure? Okay, I'm surprised. That's pretty good. Let's actually take it out and be sure about that, because I measured the same thing on another battery, and it's probably right. They're all the same age. That's amazing. That's really something. So anyway, that is the Midland 75777A. If I get a hot minute at some point, I've actually got for a little preview, maybe I'll do this later. Someone sent me this phone charger that is scary. And this comes from a very large carrier here in the United States, Verizon Wireless, and they're selling this just hokey bullshit, and I just have to open it up to see what kind of just tragedy is waiting in this, because this it's got one of these funny American plugs, which I've never really gotten used to boot, that sort of like retracts, and this is a 5-volt 1000 milliamps or 1 amp output, and it's made in China. Who would have thought? But yeah, I was gonna crack this open in a little while and just see what is going on with this. So till next time, guys.